In an unknown part of Italy, there exists a church, where our extraordinary tale unfolds like a divinely written script. Within these hallowed walls resides a peculiar, unnamed boy, who, for some reason, becomes the target of torment from his peers. However, the boy is unfazed and he merely tilts his head in the opposite direction. Oh, how these baffled bullies scratch their heads in bewilderment. But fear not, dear readers, for our thoughtful protagonist explains that this is what the Bible says. Exhausted by his weirdness, the tormentors decide to leave him be. Meanwhile, two individuals have been discreetly watching them from the church window. One of them is a teacher who has been hired by the church to train the boy. The father explains that he wants him to make the boy the strongest exorcist. The father refers to him as it, as if he weren't even a human, but rather a tool for them to use. He goes on to explain that the boy is very special. It has the potential to be the hope for all mankind. The father gave him a strict upbringing so he could defeat Satan. He gives him a long list of things he is not allowed to do with the boy. After this meeting, the boy, along with the teacher, set off to start his training. 2 weeks later, things take a weird turn. The boy finds himself in a house with his teacher partying and hanging out with women. Instead of training him, the man spent all the church allowance on hiring prostitutes. The lad becomes furious to see that his teacher is defying the teachings of the Bible. In an effort to calm him down, one of the women tries to seduce him. But he is not swayed. Instead, he leaves the room in anger, slamming the door behind him. The same woman questions the teacher if it's right for them to take the church's money. The teacher finally reveals his real reason for doing this. He has given them enough money to leave this life behind. Besides, paying girls to sleep with him isn't his style. He decides to go after the boy to comfort him. The lad, on the other hand, begins freaking out. He has a flashback from his time at the church. Father always told him that his sole purpose for existing is to defeat Satan. Remembering these words, he clenches the cross in his hand as he begins to worry that his mission will fail if this keeps up. With this thought in mind, he glares at his teacher. In an attempt to quell the boy's anger, he discloses the true purpose behind bringing him to this town. Rumors of demon sightings have been circulating, with whispers suggesting that the demon manifests through prostitutes, draining victims of their energy. He deduces from the information that the demon is likely a succubus. However, the boy, who has been monitoring the town with his powers, reveals that he has found nothing. This leaves two possibilities. Either the demon is so weak that its power is negligible, or it's so powerful that it can completely conceal itself. The teacher is taken aback and dismisses the boy's assertion as a joke. The lad, however, responds with a creepy glare, insisting that he never lies, as it contradicts the teachings of the Bible. Elsewhere, the girl from earlier meets up with her younger sister, displaying the money she just earned. The younger sibling, taken aback, inquires about the origin of the funds and ponders whether her older sister engaged in any questionable activities to obtain them. Without providing an answer, the girl informs her sister that they are leaving the town immediately. As they attempt to depart, they are intercepted by the teacher and the boy. In a surprising revelation, the teacher identifies the elder sister as the demon they have been seeking. He promptly unleashes a powerful spell, explaining that if she is truly human, she will remain unharmed, but if she is a demon, she will be obliterated. The spell erupts in a massive blast, confirming the suspicions of the teacher as the girl is forced to reveal her true demonic form to survive. Wasting no time, he leaps into action to attack the succubus. However, the boy, observing the unfolding events, senses that something is amiss. He cannot detect any demonic power emanating from the girl, concluding that she is just a low-level succubus, making the situation seemingly impossible. Meanwhile, the teacher easily overpowers the succubus, poised to deliver the final blow. In a sudden revelation, the boy urgently warns him, expressing that something is not right and suggesting the presence of a more potent demon concealing its powers. The teacher recalls their earlier conversation as the true demon finally reveals itself, none other than the little sister. The succubus pleads desperately for her life, her pleas echoing through the air. The true demon reveals its authentic form, undergoing a monstrous transformation before infiltrating the succubus's body. An agonizing process ensues as it gradually rends her apart from within. Simultaneously, the succubus persists in begging for mercy, pleading with her master to spare her life. However, her pleas fall on deaf ears. Her stomach grows bigger and bigger, and eventually, it bursts open. From within, a demon starts crawling out. It is no ordinary demon. She is a fallen cherub and one of the 7 deadly sins. It's none other than Asmodeus, the demon lord of lust. The teacher starts freaking out as he didn't think they would be going up against something this strong. The boy feels something strange going on with his body. He is forced to go down on his knee. This is all because of the influence of the demon lord. No one is able to resist their libido in her presence. With a snap of her fingers, Asmodeus brings all the town's women to their location. They seem to be under some sort of mind-controlling spell. The boy holds onto his cross tightly. The teacher tries to hold them off with a barrier, but it fails. The lad, on the other hand, has helplessly fallen under the demon lord's influence. The heavier the burden one carries, the harder it is to resist lust. Thus, he continues to fall deeper and deeper into his desires. At that moment, he recalls his time at the church. The father would beat him mercilessly with a whip. Despite his cries for mercy, he wouldn't stop. Presently, Asmodeus uses his pain against him to make him fall even deeper within her control. The women hold him down, promising to take his pain away, pledging that they will show him heaven on earth. Hearing this word makes him remember a verse from the Bible. In a shocking turn of events, he grabs his right eyeball and pulls it out completely. Asmodeus is left stunned. However, this seems to have worked as the pain allows him to escape the demon lord's influence. Without wasting time, he starts forming a spell. Suddenly, the demon lord finds herself trapped with holy chains and is unable to move. This is followed by an intense blast that is visible through the town. Asmodeus lies on the ground, having been heavily damaged from the spell. She has 2 weaknesses, fish liver and Archangel Raphael. Since he didn't bring any fish liver, the boy nonchalantly decides to draw upon the power of the Archangel. She begs to be spared. She even tells him that he will break if he uses such a powerful spell. However, the boy doesn't mind. This is because his only reason for being born was to defeat the almighty Satan. The spell calls forth a door to Gehenna. The door moves forward and consumes the demon lord until finally slamming shut. This is the boy's first victory in his path towards beating Satan. The teacher quickly rushes to check up on him. He asks him about his right eye. The boy recalls a verse from the Bible. Whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after has committed adultery with her already in his heart, and if the right eye offends thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. With a cold glare, he tells the teacher that he deserves this punishment because of his lustful thoughts. The teacher is completely taken aback. He places his hand on the lad's shoulder and tries to explain to him that it's okay to have these thoughts. It's also okay to act on them as long as it's consensual. Much to his annoyance, he continues quoting verses from the Bible. Angered by this, the teacher tells him that he is not a believer. He is just a slave. He is nothing more than a brat who does what he is told to keep God happy. There is no heaven for him. Upon hearing the sentence, the boy completely freaks out and lashes out at the teacher. However, while he tries to attack him, he gets flashbacks of his life up to this point. The only memories he has are of being treated like a tool for salvation, being bullied by other kids, and being beaten to near death by the father. Remembering this, he breaks down into tears. He finally lets out his true feelings. The teacher gives him a warm hug to comfort him. All that the lad wants is to be happy, something he has never experienced all his life. The teacher wipes his tears and explains that he cannot teach him anything related to being an exorcist since he is already stronger than him. However, he does have a piece of advice for him. Fall in love. Find someone he can love. The lad is left confused upon hearing this. The teacher explains that if he finds someone to love, he will stop wanting to die. In time, he will grow to love the world that God made. If he fights for the one he loves, he will be invincible. The goofiness continues as the boy mentions how cheesy he is being. On a serious note, he once again tells him he has nothing to teach him. If he can repel a demon lord, then the Vatican won't have any issues. Hence his training is complete. The rescue team also arrives. Before leaving, the teacher pats him on his head. With all his heart, he wishes him happiness in this life. 4 years have passed since that incident. The lad has now become the father of his church. While he's studying, a boy named Marco comes running to him. He quickly plunks in his fake eye. Marco reveals that Satan has issued a statement. Shocked by this, Father quickly grabs his suitcase and heads out. On their way, Marco explains that the statement was issued at 3 a.m., the devil's hour. Satan possessed Abbot Nicholas. The statement went something like this. I invite the creator of the gallery of evil and all who hold them dear to visit me in my Gehenna. The Gallery of Evil is an exhibition by a Japanese artist named Imuri Atsuki. She currently has an exhibition in Rome. Father arrives at her studio to meet her. While Marco stands outside, he heads in. He follows the sounds of tapping and eventually arrives in a room. Sitting in the middle of the room is a girl. She is painting a breathtaking picture. Father recognizes the demon in the painting. It's the demon Azazel. It depicts the angel falling in love with a human girl and thus falling from grace. Watching this, he is reminded of his master's words from 4 years ago. Curious, he asks her why the Azazel fell in love with a human if it went against God's wishes. The girl can't hear but laugh. She tells him that she is not an angel, so she wouldn't know. However, she does have a theory. The moment the girl starts to turn around, Father is instantly startled. She continues explaining that an angel falls to earth by the graveness of their sin, and the gravest evil is love. Father stands there completely mesmerized by the beauty of the girl in front of him. Perhaps he has finally found love.
Here I am, know it's been a while. I was in denial about my love. Here I stand, I know I walked away.